Imagine your first car. It's dented, the paint is fading, and the engine light has been on for 6 months. Objectively, it's worth maybe $3,000. But when a buyer offers you that exact amount, you feel a sharp, almost physical pain. $3,000, are they serious? This car has character. It's worth at least $5,000. Why do we do this? Why does an object's value suddenly inflate the moment it passes from the world into our hands? That feeling is not sentimentality. It's a powerful, invisible force controlling your financial decisions. It's called the Endowment Effect. And today on MindVist, we're going to expose this cognitive bias and show you how it's silently costing you thousands in your investments, your home, and your life. Welcome back to MindVist, where we decode the psychology of money. I'm Dr. MindVist. The endowment effect is one of the most fundamental concepts in behavioral finance. It describes our tendency to place a disproportionately higher value on things we own or are endowed with, simply because we own them. In a rational world, the price you'd pay for an item should be the same as the price you'd sell it for. But we are not rational. Studies show that sellers often demand 2 to 3 times more for an item than a buyer is willing to pay, or even what the seller themselves would pay if they didn't already own it. The reason is simple, yet profound: loss aversion. We feel the pain of a loss, the pain of giving up something we own, about twice as intensely as we feel the pleasure of an equivalent gain. The moment you own something, giving it up feels like a loss, and we will pay a premium to avoid that loss. Let me tell you about the classic experiment that proved this bias, but let's humanize it. Imagine 2 friends, Alex and Ben, both students. The professor walks into the lecture hall with a box of university-branded coffee mugs.
The professor gives a mug to Alex, the seller. Ben, the buyer, gets nothing. The professor then asks Alex, "What is the minimum price you would accept to sell your mug?" Alex thinks about the mug, the coffee he's had in it, the fact that it's his, and he says, $10.
The professor then asks Ben, the buyer, what is the maximum price you would pay to acquire that exact same mug? Ben looks at the mug, thinks about the 10 other mugs he has at home, and says, $3.
The mug is identical. The market value is the same. But the moment Alex was endowed with the mug, his perceived value of it tripled. This isn't about the mug. It's about the feeling of ownership and the fear of losing what is now part of his world. Now, let's move this from a $3 mug to your $300,000 portfolio. The endowment effect is a silent killer of rational investing. How many of you are holding on to a stock that is clearly underperforming? You bought it at $50. It's now at $20. Every rational indicator tells you to sell, cut your losses, and reinvest the remaining capital elsewhere. But you don't. Why? Because selling that stock means admitting the loss, and it means giving up your stock. You overvalue it because it's yours, and you hold on to the hope that it will return to $50, just to avoid the pain of realizing the loss. This is rampant in real estate. A homeowner will price their house based on the memories they made there, the sweat equity they put in, and the subjective value they assign to their home. The market, however, only cares about comparable sales. The result? The house sits on the market for months, overpriced, while the homeowner refuses to budge, a victim of their own endowment. The danger of the endowment effect is that it paralyzes us. It turns us into passive, emotional decision makers, preventing us from making the objective strategic moves that would actually maximize our wealth. So, how do we fight a bias that is literally wired into our brains? We use 2 powerful techniques from the Behavioral Finance Toolkit. Before you make a decision to sell or not to sell, ask yourself this: if I did not already own this item, this stock, this car, this house, How much would I pay to acquire it right now? If the answer is significantly less than what you're demanding for it, you have your answer. You are endowed. This is for your investments. Before you buy a stock, write down the exact conditions under which you will sell it. Not when I make a profit, but specific objective metrics. If the PE ratio exceeds 30, or if the company misses earnings for 2 consecutive quarters. By making the selling decision before you have ownership, you remove the emotional pain of the future loss. You are simply executing a predetermined plan. The endowment effect is a powerful reminder that our brains are not calculators, they are storytellers. We weave our identity into our possessions, and that makes letting go incredibly difficult. But by recognizing this bias, by applying the stranger test and the PreMortem, you can finally separate your emotions from your assets. Don't let your past ownership dictate your future wealth. Be the rational investor your future self deserves. If this video helped you understand why you've been holding onto that one stock for too long, hit the like button. Subscribe to MindVist for more deep dives into behavioral finance and how to master the psychology of money. And let me know in the comments, what is the one thing you've held on to for too long because of the endowment effect?